Hello and welcome to Rarely Rad episode 8. Haley and Isabel are here and the Love is Blind reunion just happened. What are your thoughts?
I liked it. I wish we went in more to discuss about Jimmy and Chelsea. I feel like that was just so overlooked.
Literally, what happened? And she's come out and said, I guess in a different interview, that they tried to date and it lasted 4 days and then they broke it off again, which is wild how like 4 days can happen. I felt like what the hosts, I want to call them the Lucchese's. Is that who they are? Whoever they are.
Latchy or something.
Yeah, it's something with an L. They came out firing the first like 45, and then the rest of it was just kind of like, okay, you guys aren't like, were that you're told to reel it in? Like, what happened here? Because there was like a disconnect from the very beginning when they were just like hammering people, and it was like, yes, I mean, we were getting the answers. I did see yesterday Jeremy posted on his Instagram story, still fuck Jeremy, fuck Sarah Ann, they suck. But Jeremy posted on his Instagram, and apparently, like, Trevor asked if he could leave 10 minutes before they actually let him leave. I
heard him say that. He said, "Can I leave?"
He did, but apparently that they didn't let him leave for like another 10 minutes, and that's when they like pulled up his ex-girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever, girlfriend from outside real world, texts and everything, and he had already apparently asked to leave before they showed those. My opinion on him, why did you come?
Honestly, with stuff like this, I think there's a fine. I think there is a fine to not show up to the reunion. I know at other...
if you're invited to it?
Yeah, so I know for other reality TV shows, but these people are already rich, you get paid extra to go to the reunion. So like if they don't go, which most of them, it's in their contract to go, but obviously, I think it's happened like 3 or 4 times where somebody doesn't go, just flakes out on it. They don't get paid for it. And I think in situations like this, you probably get fined because, I mean, this is probably where they get fined the $50,000.
Maybe that's where they now are doing that, because Matthew didn't show up, but I guess maybe
I think his situation was different though. He was in like 1 episode, and I think
he was a big character in the beginning, and while they were in the pods, he was a big one. And they said in the reunion, like, hey, we did invite Matthew to come to the reunion, but he declined.
Yeah, I think with his situation, it was different than Trevor's situation, because Trevor was even in like the second parts where they show, like the lake and all that stuff. Like Matthew left, he was basically only in 1 episode. Granted, it was a big part, but that girl, the other girl, Amber, she didn't go either.
Yeah, but I feel like she was less of a character than Matthew. Yeah. Overall, Jeremy and Sarah Ann, I'm so glad literally everyone dug into them. It doesn't even matter who. Even Jimmy made a comment about how Jeremy was like, well, at least I'm not the villain if Jimmy is. And
also, what Jeremy was she wearing?
Dude, the amount of memes about it. She looked like she got ready at Libby Lou, wore a prom dress, and then the sparkles all over the body. Like, she needs like a dip status stick or whatever to put some glow on the body, not literal craft glitter from Michaels.
Yeah, I don't know what the hairdo was.
I mean, stylists, they're probably losing business. They probably thought they were going to get more business because of this, and there's no way they're getting more business after Sarah Ann looks like that. That
wasn't even like prom. It was like prom in 2010.
Yeah.
Like, where did you even? She probably wore that to her prom.
She probably wasn't invited to her prom because she was probably a mean girl back in high school too.
She sucks. I'm all for the Jeremy, Sarah Ann hate. Like, I'm like, okay, y'all are shitting on them too. Let's be friends. Because I hate them too. And I love being friends with people that hate the same people that I hate.
That's why we're friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, that I mean, I'm just so happy everyone dug into her. I do wish Laura was in person, because I think she would have just brought even more fire. I'm glad Jess was there. Chelsea, or not Chelsea, I always do that. Adie and Clay. I wish they asked if they had been on it, because she said she said she had gone on some dates with Matthew, but you could tell the whole time it was like don't be mad at me, babe, type of thing. Like when she was like answering questions about Matthew, she was looking at Clay the whole time, like, but don't be mad, like, hey. And they
already knew
that but like I think hearing it again, but they asked like, have y'all talked? And they were like, yeah. And they just left it. And then when she was asked if she would date him again, she said next question. So I am kind of rooting for them at this point. I think I do like when he was like, I was ready to get married and stuff, and then she said, why aren't we married?
I don't think he's ready to get married.
I don't think so either. And I know he's working on himself, but I think there's definitely more work to be done. But he did hold himself well. I do think he spoke really well at the reunion. I really liked him. I hope that maybe they can give it a shot in the future with maybe not as much of a rushed timeline. Maybe that was part of their issue. And now that they can be on their own timeline, we'll see. What the hell?
I just honestly think with AD and Clay is that I don't think it's going to work, because I think he's going to want to take it slow and she's going to be like, I want to be where we were at, because they've already built a relationship. He's not ready to be at that level, but she is ready to be at that level.
Yeah, maybe right person, wrong time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of fine with them not being together. I think she deserves better. And I think he just still isn't ready. And
yeah,
no point in her waiting around for a guy that he doesn't even know when he's going to be ready. And for the time, maybe when he is ready, she's not the girl for him.
Yeah. And then there's Kenneth and Brittany. We really didn't hear anything about them other than that now they're just besties. And then
so apparently in the pods though, they had discussed that they're like, we love each other. And it was like a very early on set that they were basically just going to be friends.
And then they still got engaged?
I think they wanted to test it out, but I think they'd kind of been like, okay, yeah, like we're kind of set on the bestie path.
If we were coming out firing with screenshots of texts and all this from other people, why didn't they show his cousin's comment with the little rainbow?
Because it's not, honestly, because it's like, if he doesn't want to come out, like, who are we to pressure him to come out?
I guess.
And also,
I feel like that's
with a rainbow. I mean, one comment with a rainbow, maybe he's bi, That doesn't mean he's not into her.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's some tea that we should have gotten a few more answers from. And then, of course, to end it with Johnny and Amy, of course, they're just living their happy little boring life.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're still together. I think one thing with Trevor, I still hate Jeremy and Sarah Ann more.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because they don't even see where they've done wrong.
No. And they absolutely have absolutely broken up 8 times, and like you can already tell they're such a toxic
Chelsea
couple.
called them out on it.
Yeah, they're like, you and me against the world, and it's just like because nobody wants to be around them because they're so toxic.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea called them out on that. She was like, well, you guys have broken up every time I've seen you. And he was like, I've only seen you once. And she was like, or he was like, I've never even seen you out. And she was like, liar. And then same with Sarah Ann, still trying to play victim about how all the girls don't like her. And when Chelsea was like, that's when you unfollowed all of us on Instagram, but yet you still followed our fiancés.
He's going to end up cheating on her. He cheated on his ex. He cheated on Laura. I mean, he's definitely messaging other girls. I'm sure girls are sliding into his DMs because that's just kind of what happens once you get famous, like regardless of whether you're a villain or a hero. Because people will just want to hook up just for the sake of saying, oh, I hooked up with XYZ, And he got caught by his ex-girlfriend the same way he got
doing
Laura
the same thing. Like,
insane.
Don't you learn?
They're just not good people.
This didn't work the first time. Let me try it again. But yeah, I'm glad the season's over. I'm a little interested to see, Perfect Match? Have you watched that before?
I've not.
I've never even heard of it, but since Jess is on it, and I do think I like Jess, I'm kind of intrigued to watch it and see.
I find her kind of annoying. I'm like, just get your sentence over with. Like, why is it taking you so long to say this?
Oh my God,
thing?
I did.
And it's not, I will say, people give her too much credit for her quote unquote reads. Like, they're not that good. Like, I'm like, yeah, like your comeback. It's called a read. When you read somebody, like I'm like your EpiPen, like I've heard better.
I did like the EpiPen. I saw one thing, And she ended up making a TikTok about like herself making fun of her, which I do like that she's able to make fun of herself, is that she sounds like Gypsy Rose. And it's honestly, I saw that. Kind of accurate.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like Jess. I think she's kind of a lot for me. And I'm like, I also think it's kind of, I guess I feel like her and Chelsea's friendship, I think that's kind of weird. I can't picture that. Not them being friends, but I guess not like them being friends because of Jeremy or whatever, Jimmy, whatever his name is. I guess I just can't, the fact that her daughter calls her like Auntie Chelsea, I'm just like, well, what? I thought that was weird.
No, it doesn't really surprise me because they have like a lasting bonding friendship the rest of their lives because of them going on the show together. It's like the crew we went to Europe with. Like, we have a bond that other people don't have.
Oh, I will also say, I think the thing with Trevor, I think multiple people have done that. I think Trevor's just one of the ones that got caught. Like, a bunch of people yes, some people are going on for the experiment, but other people are going on to get famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. They advertise it as an opportunity. Like, they say like, hey, you will get a bunch of money from this. You can like have your own podcast and you can quit your job. Like, how is that not enticing to people?
Oh, no, 100%. You just gotta, but like you seemed like such a stand-up guy, but you fucked yourself when you then were texting someone you loved them, that you were gonna marry them before and after the pods. I mean, I remember because it first started in Atlanta. I got a DM. There was another one too called, I want to say, Love at First Sight. Or honestly, it might have been what Love is Blind is, and that's what they were calling it. I remember I got sent Instagram DMs to do it, and at the time I was dating my ex, so I was like, no, I'm in a relationship. But they reached out to me and to do it. And the places I could be now, I did it back then, who knows?
I also got asked to be on Married at First Sight. And they did it, and I think they did a season in Charlotte. I don't know if it was their first season ever, but they did. He was asked to be on Love is Blind when we first started dating. We'd known each other for like 3 weeks, and this man has the audacity to say, do you think you'd wait for me? No. You'd be married for 6 months? No, I'm not waiting for you. He's like, I would just be doing it for the money. And I'm like, I'm sure that's why most people are probably doing it for the money, but like, no, I've got other things to
do. Bye.
One thing so one thing I noticed in all of our podcasts, we always talk about airports. Every single episode, we have talked about airports or airplanes in one way or another.
We're just big travel girlies. What can we say?
Big travel girls. Exactly. One thing I wanted to update our listeners.
I was gonna say, we just like to bitch, and airports are really easy to bitch about.
Yeah, and hype up. Fuck Orlando Airport. I had a layover there. The place smells like Taco Bell, but not in a good way. And there's nothing to do. The only restaurants were Starbucks and a Burger King. And I'm not going to go hang out at either of those places, so I have to be a floor kid.
Love that for you.
Oh, the Stingray? Charlotte the Stingray. So listen to this. And tell me this doesn't sound a little sus. So she hasn't had her puppies yet, or whatever the term is. But they've announced... Oh, whatever. They've announced that when she has them, they're going to take them away from her and put them for observation. You don't think that's sketchy? Because they're trying to observe it to see if it's a shark ray. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, it has to be.
You don't take away if they were in the wild, they wouldn't take them away. It just seems sus.
Yeah, I mean, have we ever though had, what's it called when she impregnated herself?
Like an asexual reproductive thing?
Yeah. Have we ever, as humans, had an asexual stingray reproduction?
I don't know. I'm not really that versed in stingray history.
So this might be like the first time. So we have to like see, are they completely normal? What's their DNA? Do they 100% match stingray mama DNA, or do they have anything else? So maybe that's that, but that is sad. Like, they're just leaving their mom.
I mean, they don't do that when we do IVF, so
yeah, but we've had like thousands of tests done on that. This might be our first time testing stingray pups, asexual stingray pups.
So one thing, I've managed to make it to Amish TikTok somehow, which, first of all, I thought the Amish weren't allowed to own this type of stuff. They're not even allowed to do electricity, right?
I think that's how they were back in the day. Like, but I think these days, like, they're just normal people. They just dress funny.
I don't think so, because they still churn butter. They're like talking shit about each other's butter on there. They're like, see that girl's fucking bonnet? And I'm like, y'all are talking shit about each other's bonnets? Like, can you just imagine you're going to the fair and everybody's just talking shit about your bonnet and your butter?
And so then they have cell phones though, but then they have to charge the cell phones. So now, like, I thought they didn't even have light bulbs.
That's what I'm saying. I thought they were like candlelit. They got nothing.
Maybe these must be modern day Amish.
Yeah, because remember that show with the Amish when they would do like their retreat and like live in the real world for like a year?
No, but I have watched My Unorthodox Life with the Julia Hart, the Jew. That was an Orthodox Jew, and that shit's crazy.
It's kind of like that, and then I remember like the Amish would shun them if they wanted to stay in the normal world, but like they have to go. I guess part of their religion is that they have to go 1 year to be a real life being. I just don't see how you can go back from living in a world with AC and then being like, let me go back to churning my butter, and when I could just buy butter at the store.
Do they still hand do their laundry?
Yeah, like imagine being like, let me just go back to that.
So maybe the Amish are like anti-appliance. Like,
maybe. I know they have like phones, but like it's the ringing phones, like the ones.
Yeah, but like a phone isn't like really an appliance, but like
right.
Dishwasher, laundry, butter churner,
refrigerator,
oven. Maybe they're anti those things.
And, I think they have ovens.
But they probably have like the old ovens from back in the day where you like have
manually light it.
Yeah, like they don't have like the ovens we have where you like press buttons and then it's like 275 degrees and then you wait 10 minutes and then it's hot. Like they probably gotta like get with those coals and stuff. I mean, I could never imagine. I mean, I don't even know if I could build a fire.
I can't. I've tried.
I mean, we could churn butter.
Yeah, you just like move it around.
Yeah, I think so fast.
Yeah. You have to do it for a long time. People get strong, dude. It's like a workout.
Maybe that's what you need to do for your noodle arms.
No, I will not participate in anything that involves arms.
What's your arm workout? Churning butter.
I refuse to do anything that involves arms. I keep that stuff very minimal.
P wants me to go to a gym workout class tomorrow, and he said he thought it would be a cute couples thing. I think we are on the different page for what we consider cute couples things.
Yeah, no, that's a no. No, that's not a fun activity to do together.
And he brought it up like last week, and then today earlier we were on the phone, and he was like, "So do you still want to go to the gym tomorrow?" And I was like, "Damn." I was kind of hoping you would forget about this.
Have you seen all that Kate Middleton editing stuff?
Yeah, been kind of crazy. I saw a funny meme earlier today, though, that was hilarious. And it was like, I found Kate Middleton. She moved to a farm town, and she's fallen in love with the town farmer. And he has no idea that she's a princess yet. And then this upcoming Christmas, she'll get stuck in the town and have to stay there.
I know, I sent that to you.
Oh.
And it was like you said movie coming out. Yeah, I sent it, and it was like movie Netflix premiere like 2025 or whatever.
Yeah, because that's literally how every single Hallmark movie is.
Yeah, the thing is though, okay, so she had the surgery back in December and has been in like recovery since then, and then nobody's seen her. I think I could find her. Like, I've got some good FBI skills. All I have to do is just like do some lurking. I mean, just put like we could, if we actually really wanted to, like just put the FBI women's team to it. Like we've got it. Like we can find. I mean,
yeah, we found Ozma bin Laden.
Ozma.
I knew that was wrong.
I'm not even gonna say anything on that. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, my friend's mom was actually part of that team finding him in the CIA.
No.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. Even earlier today, I asked P what his, like, how old his boss is, because I've like heard so much about her, but I haven't heard anything. And he was like, I mean, at oldest 30. He was like, I'd assume more like your age, 28. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I kind of just pictured boss, someone, I don't know, older in their 40s. I don't know. And I was like, oh, and he was like, yeah, he was like, girls are best at sleuthing. And so he was like, you can't find anything about her on social media at all. He was like, girls have tried to sleuth her before. And like, there's nothing on the internet for her, not a LinkedIn, not Facebook, nothing about her. He was like, you wouldn't know she existed other than like, she's standing in front of you type of thing. And I was like, really? And he sent me her name. And like 5 minutes later, I was sending him a screenshot and I was like, is this her? And he was like, wait, it is. Well, first he had told me that she has a dog. And so I'm on Facebook and I find it and I'm like, wait, so like what type of dog does she have? Because the cover photo on the Facebook profile is a dog. And he's like, a Frenchie. And I was like, yeah, I think I found her.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we could find Kate Middleton. I just thought it was so funny that she like released a picture. And then the people were like, not even, it was like some magazine, I guess, like wouldn't even publish it. They're like, dude, this is edited. Like your Photoshop skills suck. And then it was all like more speculation because they're like, dude, what is going on? Like, who is releasing these
What was her
fake
surgery for?
I think it was abdominal.
Okay, I thought so too. That's what I was making sure.
And then they're just like, dude.
They said the recovery time was going to be like, at first, I want to say 3 months. And then now they've changed it to like 9 months.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. But I mean, she's out and about.
How do you know?
Well, then she released that picture. She came out and said she edited. She's like, sorry guys, my editing skills suck. She like yeah, it was like, I'm an amateur editor. Like, sorry, basically like something like that. But she used the word. She's like, she was as an amateur editor, and I was just like, dude, this is like bad though. But yeah, she apologized for it.
Part of the photo was edited.
Everything she tried to edit. I don't. They do like zoom ups of it. Like part of like a finger is like disjointed or something. Like shirts are like mismatching. Like a pattern is like moved further like out this way, like left than it should be. Like, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of. I mean, you can just look at it and you can zoom in on certain parts and be like, wow, that's pretty rough.
Why would she edit this?
I don't know.
Like, so do you think the photo's not even real?
Well, that's like another thing. Like, what if it's like AI?
Oh, she did say, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I want to express my apologies for any confusion. The family photo we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day.
Dude, or maybe she's like not actually out and about yet. And it was like, yeah, an AI image that they just released. And they're like, hey, here she is. And you guys have been asking for her. I don't know.
Yeah, it could totally be an AI image because you know how AI always just adds fingers and shit.
I hope she's safe. I hope her man's ain't out there doing dumbass shit. Makes her want to go into hiding, Princess Diana style.
I saw something that was like, damn, I'd want to go into hiding too if my man ended up looking like that.
No, but where's the lie? Like if you watch The Crown though, the last season, it kind of looks like she was like stalking him a little bit.
He is someone that has aged so poorly.
That's unfortunate. And she is very pretty.
She's gorgeous. And he used to be like attractive.
Yeah, when he was younger, he was like pretty attractive. But it's so funny in The Crown, they basically, so if you have not seen the last season of The Crown, spoiler alert. Well, I guess I don't know. Is it even spoiler alert? Because like you could just look this up on the internet. Like this is all history.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he was supposed to go to like Oxford, I think it was, and so she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Oxford," and then he announces he's gonna take a year off to do some gonna like help build houses and something, you know what they do, and like I can't think of the word, not charity work, but you know what I'm saying, build houses for like, people in Africa or whatever. And so then she took a year off and did the same thing and applied to the same program, but she was like 2 weeks later than him, and then he announces that he's gonna go to St. Andrew's College. And then she goes to St. Andrew's College. So it basically looked like she just
Did they know each other?
No, they met in college.
Interesting. And she just happened to have the same exact wife?
Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of, and he announced it, and I guess that's maybe why she did it. But it's weird that she was going to go to Oxford, decided to take a year off to go, the same time he decided to take a year off, decided to join this program to help do whatever it is that they do. She also decided to do it, and then she decides to go to another college, and he decides to go to another college, and she then decides to go to that college. Seems a little sus, if you ask me.
It reminds me of like the modern day when like a girl sees a hot guy, and so then she finds out like where his mom works out and then joins his mom's workout class and then casually brings up there that she's single to the mom, and the mom's like, oh, I have a son that's around your age, and then they end up dating or whatever. It kind of sounds like that.
It's like this. I've actually gotten onto these weird Reddit rabbit holes, and one of them was something like that. I get on, like, hop on TikTok and they'll come on, but like there was this one that was really weird. This is kind of like not actually in relation to that, but I was like thinking about it. So he was like dating this girl in college, I guess. She was like really beautiful, had blonde hair, blue eyes, like very pretty, and her dad died. And she was like, hey, will you come with me home? We've got to like go through his belongings, blah blah blah. And they find this box, and she like looks through the box, and it's a bunch of like Nazi supporter stuff. And like she didn't know, I guess, like her dad was like a Nazi or like a Nazi supporter. That's why all the kids had like blonde hair, blue eyes, and like the kids didn't know. And like she saw it and like closed it, but he saw it too, and they like never talked about it. I guess the girl ended up like breaking up with him afterwards, and he was like, I think it's because she knew that I knew about like her Nazi history.
I saw something the other day on, I think it was on Twitter, and it was like, but it was a tweet anyway, and it was like three things you should never ask. Never ask a man his salary, never ask a woman her age, and never ask a company about the time between like 1944 and 1966 or whatever the years are that the Holocaust was. I'm not good at history. And it was like photo of a very, like, I don't remember what company. It was like a very famous company, like a Ford type company. And someone was flying into the airport, and the company made this giant sign that was like, all hail Hitler.
Yikes.
And like to welcome them in. And they were like, it's like, what was happening then? Like, we didn't really know how bad, like, type of thing. I mean, times were just different. There wasn't internet. There wasn't cameras to know every single thing that was happening. So like,
there were cameras, Haley. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there were cameras, but it wasn't like we all had it. Like now we all have a camera and a video camera in our pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I think people make it sound like it was a lot longer ago than it was. Like my grandfather fought in World War II. My grandmother, who died 3 years ago, she was around during World War II, and she had to like go hide in bunkers. But yeah, I mean, Hugo Boss,
best friend from college, her grandma was in the camps. She's 8 years old. She's still alive.
Crazy.
Like,
you know, Hugo Boss, they do like men's cologne. They're like the designers for the Nazi uniforms. Like they're all wearing Hugo Boss Nazi. Like that's what I think how they rose to kind of like big fame is like they're the designers of the. And it's kind of crazy. Like that is, if that were today, that brand would have been canceled. Like nobody would shop there. People did not, like with the whole Balenciaga stuff when that all came out. With like the kids, like people were like stop shopping there and everything. And if that was like one advertisement, like a giant thing, like designing a whole military's racist uniform, and like that company's still like bopping around. People do like commercials for them, and they're like, oh yeah, I like advertise for I'm a Hugo Boss model.
It was pre-cancel culture. So no one cared as much. I mean, that's like, even, have you seen all the stuff about like Lululemon's old CEO? Like he named it. He hasn't been CEO since like 2008, I want to say, but apparently he didn't like Asians. And that's why the name of the company is Lululemon, because they're not good at saying else. And then he also doesn't like fat people. And so that's why they don't go, I don't think they go up to extra large.
They do now.
They might now, but like back, I think he stepped down as CEO in like 2008. So like a while ago. But apparently that's the background of Lululemon. And so everyone's like, damn, their marketing team really covered all that up, because no one knows any of it.
No, that's insane. Yeah.
If that happens today,
and it's like crazy too, because people will find tweets from like, not that Twitter was around in this date, but like 1999, and people will get and like bring it up today, and you'll get canceled for that. And it's like, I'm sorry, like the times were different. Not that it was okay, but times were different. I've grown and changed my opinion since, but now you're canceling me for it.
Everything, once you put it on the internet, it's always out there, and it will be found.
Yeah. I know. So somebody told me that, and I was in high school, and I freaked out because I drank a Monster energy drink, and I had this like awful headache, like migraine, and it was basically like a hangover. And so I wrote Monster Hangover as my Facebook status. And I was like freaking out that I wasn't gonna get into college because I thought people thought I was like drinking or whatever, even though it was just from like an energy drink. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna like, no, I'm not gonna get a job when I'm older because I wrote hangover on my Facebook status. Because they made that like a huge like point in high school to be like, once you put it on the internet, it's there forever.
I don't remember our high school making a point of it, but my parents told me that shit all the time. Because I was Twitter queen. I was just, if I tweeted 100 times a day, that was the low.
Dude, I used to tweet so much. I still tweeted I don't tweet as much as I used to. I used to be very active on Twitter. But that's what you gotta do when you're keeping up, this famous account that I'm running.
Yeah.
When you're spreading fake news like me.
About the Tiger King or whatever.
Yeah, Carol Baskin, whatever her name was. Yikes. What is the craziest thing you've done in a breakup or like after a breakup?
I mean, I kicked my ex out of multiple bars.
I peed on my ex's car once, and then I stole all his salt and pepper and his spices.
That's wild. I did steal back my shower head. That caused a lot of drama. Because he moved into his apartment while we were together, and I had like a nice shower head that I wasn't using because I had a different one at my place. So I was like, yeah, you can borrow this. And then he cheated on me. And so I was like, screw this. I'm gonna get my shower head back. So I just unscrewed it and took it back. And apparently the next morning, him and the girl he cheated on me with came back and they were gonna take a shower together. And if you turn on a shower without a shower head, it's just like a bullet.
Yeah.
They apparently went in there and they turned on the water to get in, and they were like, what the fuck?
Looking back though, why did that cause so much drama? Oh no, you took back something that was yours. What did he expect? He
wanted to call the cop on me and say I like broke in. I was like, no, I didn't break in. He was just batshit crazy. And that caused so much drama. And it was just, he made me sound so crazy. And like, yeah, my actions weren't the best, but he was antagonizing and I was just falling for it. That's it.
What's so funny though is like you'll hear stories about women going to jail like, oh, she cut his dick off and threw it in a field, and like as a girl you're just like, what did he do? Like, what did that man do?
Yeah.
And he probably deserved it. Like, not only men are like, oh, she's crazy, and like, no, what did that man do? Because like he probably deserved that.
Well, the girl that he cheated on me with, they're still together, and like I'll see them every once in a while. And one day she said to me, and she was still with him, and this was like earlier in the relationship, but she was like, I know when a girl is doing something, it's always just a reaction to whatever the guy did. And I was like, at least yeah, I'm not just being crazy for no reason. I have a reason to be taking back my damn shower head.
And then she chose to stay with him.
Yeah, and then she still dates him. I'm like, one day that relationship will fail, and she'll probably come to me because I'm also friends. Well, I'm friends with her ex, and she would always come to me for updates on her ex. I mean, yeah, he's doing well. Like, he's living his life. He's having success with his job. He moved. He likes where he moved. And she would always talk to me about it, and she'd cry to me about it and be like, you're the only person who understands how he is, blah, 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 blah. And then she went and hooked up with my boyfriend, and then now dates my boyfriend. Well, now ex-boyfriend, obviously. And it's like, honey, do you not see this about to happen again? But they're still together, so we'll see. Sometimes I feel really bad for her because I just know how toxic that relationship was when I was in it, and I'm sure it's still god fucking awful.
I know. I'll think about that sometimes too. I had my ex, so he started dating a girl after me. I think it was a couple years after me, and she's friends with one of my friends, and my friend reached out to me and was like, hey, like, my friend's dating your ex. I know y'all didn't have a good relationship. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to sound like that crazy ex, but like woman to woman, like she needs to be careful because he wasn't a good person. He had mental health issues, which he chose not to deal with properly. And I was like, look, I don't want to involve myself. And she was like, no, I absolutely get it. And then like, years later, obviously it didn't work out. I don't know how long they were together, but it didn't work out. And she was basically like, yeah, like everything she said was true. But it's so funny that like, you kind of like feel bad because you're like, man, I really hope he's not doing those things. He's not acting like that to her, because you don't want that.
No, it's crazy. Even before I bought my place, when I lived with that girl who was then dating that crazy guy, and now they're engaged, which is even wilder or more wild, whatever. But when I moved out and broke that lease, she got another roommate who was random. I think they met via Facebook. And within, I want to say, a month of the other girl randomly living there, she found me on Instagram and sent me a DM and was like, hey, really random. Like, I know you don't know who I am. I live with blank. And I'm starting to wonder if the issues in the living situation were caused by you or by her. Because now that I've lived with her for a few weeks, I'm starting to think it might have been her. And I was like, yeah, like, and I don't know what to tell you because I needed to get out of that lease. And so unfortunately that puts you in that lease. Just watch your back, be careful. And I gave her all the info. I was like, I had to call the cops on her boyfriend. I wouldn't feel safe around him. I think she finished out the lease together. But I don't really know where either of them are now. And then I know the boyfriend, who's now fiance, he lives in Florida. So I don't know if she moved down to Florida with him or what's going on there. But I'm like, not my problem.
And you were friends with the boyfriend prior, and you had a whole separate friendship with him.
Yeah, I mean, they met because of me. I mean, him and I were good friends. He met my dad. He helped me move. Like, we were really, really, really close until we found out that he lied about his literal entire life, made up that his mom was a stay-at-home mom, made up that his dad was a pilot when he was really a air traffic controller guy, made up that, and that was his stepdad. He made up that his real dad was a lawyer and owned his own practice. He made up that he went to Ole Miss when he went to the community college. He had photos of his dad's car collection when that didn't exist.
I don't understand like fabricating a life like that. Like, I always wonder, is it some sort of like traumatic reaction to something? Like, because don't you feel guilty? Like, I get uncomfortable lying. I don't like to lie, and I feel uncomfortable if I'm put in a situation where I have to, like, even just something minor, like, oh, like if I'm surprising somebody, I'm like, I can't.
Hating, I don't even like the word hating, but being so insecure with your own life that you make things up. Because one of my good friends, she knew this kid from high school in Pensacola, and she was friends with him. He had moved into town in mid-high school, and so she took him under her wing. And she said that she would drive him to school, and he would walk in front of a different house to get picked up and dropped off because it was a nicer house than the one he lived in. That's That's psychotic.
I mean, I understand, I guess, if like maybe you don't come from money, you're around a lot of people with money, like, yeah, that can feel, kind of understand why you might feel like you want to fit in and you don't. But like, I don't know, I just don't get the whole line about like your entire, like, what does that do? Okay, and then maybe you did it in high school, but like drop the act after.
Well, and that was the thing is, so we found out he lied about his entire life. My roommate was starting to kind of date him, and obviously I was still friends with him. So we find out together that he's lied about everything we know about him. And she had an over hour-long phone call. She recorded it, so I listened to it with his mother, who literally said, he's a pathological liar. I always hoped he would grow out of this, and he hasn't. And it's like, and she couldn't even, she had no words. She couldn't help but kind of like, laugh. As a parent, like, what do you do at that point? There's nothing.
See, that's like also like, you've got to be slight sociopath for that. Like, there's something wrong.
Oh, no, there's 1000% something wrong. I mean, that kid, he makes me cringe. He's in sales, which is at no surprise because he's good at fooling people. Yeah. And he's totally a shapeshifter, and anyone that meets him and is around him, they're gonna like him because he becomes what they're going to like. And
it's like, it's people like that start Fire Festival.
He's younger than me. He now drives a Porsche. Like, he's all about looks and money and all that. He's also gained which is just funny because he wasn't attractive to begin with, and now he's gained a bunch of weight. And one time when we were in a big fight, and him and I were yelling at each other, he was like calling me fat and stuff. And now that he's just so fat, I'm just like, Karma's a fucking bitch, isn't it?
You should just text him and be like, you're fat.
Ew, you got really fat. Hot dog. Apparently in high school he was bullied and called hot dog and told he looked like a hot dog.
That's
so
unfortunate.
That like really got under his skin.
You should like do it from like a fake number, just be like, hey, hot dog.
I have no words for him. And when I ran into my ex-roommate who was dating him now over a year ago, and I was like, and we were at the bar, so like we had a shot together and we were just having a chat, and I was like, it's nothing against you, like, but the fact that you were staying with him did not make me feel comfortable, so I had to get out for my own safety, because like he's one of those people where he just flips a switch and gets anger, and I was like, all of a sudden, like, he's gonna be in my bedroom with a fucking knife or something, and like I can't have that being in my life. And I can just see them, they're both so toxic together that I think they both think they're winning in this situation. There's no way either of them come out ahead.
I don't understand how you date somebody like that. Like somebody who you know is like lied about their mom straight up said.
She's gotta be in the shit from a very broken household. Her mom has been married like 6 times. She comes from a broken household, and he buys her shit because that's all he cares about is money. He'll buy her a new Gucci bag. He'll buy her this new thing. Like he spends money on her, and that's what she likes.
Yeah, I mean, when you come from like broken places, like a broken house like that, a lot of times that will affect you into your future relationships, which is unfortunate. But you've got to break the pattern. I mean, you got to. It's no. I don't know, maybe she just thinks if she's getting all these things and she's winning.
Want better for yourself is my whole thing.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think she has any friends anymore, because the few friends that like we were all friends with in Atlanta, I don't think they talk to her anymore, because everyone was like, why the hell are you still talking to this guy when we know he's literally lied about his whole life? She is now engaged with him.
Yeah, I mean, for her, it's probably a sense of comfort. Like, there's probably a lot of lying and stuff like that in her childhood. So she's like, oh, this is like what it's supposed to look like. This is him buying me things is what love is supposed to look like. I mean, that's not what it is, and it's like not great.
I guess a love language is gift giving.
Or gift receiving.
Oh, well, not our relationships.
I was going to say, like, one thing I've noticed about getting older is, like, before when my boyfriend would be like, oh, I'm going to, like, a bachelor party, or I have to go out of town for whatever XYZ reason, I would be like, okay, cool, like, I'm going to get ready to hang out with my girls, like, we're going to go, like, out in the bar and all this stuff, and, like, now when I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm going out of town, I'm like, okay, cool, now I get, like, the bed to myself, and it's like, that's when you know you've, like, really grown up. That's when you know you're getting old. You're like, yeah, I get the bed to myself.
Well, you and the dog.
Dog takes up the whole bed, let's be honest here. I actually get no room.
Dude, trust me, when I sleep at P's, his dog will half the time sleep on one side of me, and then he's on the other side, and I'm sandwiched in the middle. I'm sweating my ass off, and I can't get out from under the covers because they're both there. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then the last time I slept there, which was like a week ago or something, because obviously I traveled for work this past week, the dog slept on like his side, so P was in the middle and got sandwiched, and he like had to get up in the middle of the night to pee, and I was like, turned my back was to it, and I was like, I'm not rolling around, because like I know he's having to do gymnastics to just get out of this bed and get back in. And in the morning, he was like, I finally felt your pain of like sleeping right in the middle. And I was like, thank you. Like, freaking awful. It's so hot.
Yeah.
And you can't move and you're just stuck there. And he was like, yep, yeah, I had to deal with that. And I was like, yeah, welcome to pretty much every time I sleep here. It's not fun.
How do you even like move forward with that though? Like, is that going to be like the rest of your life?
Well, eventually the dog dies.
Yikes.
I mean, it's not like the worst, but it figured out my way around it now. I need the dog to like, if he's going to sleep on my side, just like at the end of the bed, so I can still move the covers like around here and like get my entire like upper half out from under the covers. And now I make sure before we go to bed, I always turn on the fan, because I'm like, we're going to need some air movement in here.
Yeah, we sleep with separate comforters. And my dog also sleeps under the covers. Like,
I mean, maybe that's my future. Separate comforters. I don't know.
Separate comforters is the way to go, because I get cold at night, so I want like to be warm, and his is like super thin because he stays hot. So then I'm warm and he is cool. And I'm like, because he sleeps at 68 degrees and like that's cold. I like have to be warm. And yeah, two separate comforters is the way to go, because then I can also just be full burrito mode and I don't have to worry about anybody trying to steal my covers. I'm the always cold person.
And what is with boys always having like those giant UGG thick boy blankets?
Dude, no, Austin's is from college. This thing is nasty. It is from college. I've bleached it, and it's like yellow. Dude, it is the nasty.
How is it not a rag?
It basically is. I've tried to get rid of it like 12 times. I was like, why don't we just go to the store and like buy you one that you like? And he's like, I like this one because it keeps me nice and cool. I'm like, this is gross. Like trust me, I think it would be a disaster. Like the stuff in it is not even like in it anymore. You know, the stuff that keeps you warm, whatever.
It's decomposed.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. And it's like you can see where it's like, and it's like almost like translucent. It's nasty. I hate that thing.
I think you throw it away and you buy a new one and you're like, sorry.
I've thought about it a lot. I've really thought about it. I think when we move, I'm just gonna like throw it away.
Put like everything you hate in one box, and then that box somehow gets lost.
For all you guys watching, I tried to self-tan my face and I forgot to wash my hands properly. So my hands are like Donald Trump orange and my arms are white as snow. It is insane.
Wait, so you didn't even tan your whole body? You just did your face?
Yeah, I don't tan my face, so it's always whiter than my body.
It doesn't look bad until you see your hands.
Yeah, no, it's just my hands are pretty bad. They're super orange.
Forearm being ghostly.
I mean, no, my arms are not this white in real life. I don't know why it looks so white right here, but they look insanely white.
Like compared to mine, they look wildly white.
They don't look. I don't think I've ever been this white in my entire life. Ever. That looks like raw chicken.
Gross.
You know, Oscars were this past week too. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Oscars stress me out because like you go there and then you change and then you do whatever you do and then you change again and there's like 3 outfit changes and I'm like, this is like Haley's dream come true. Like just fashion city, just outfit, boom, boom, boom. You can just express yourself like 3 different ways in one night. I can't even just express myself in fashion at all. I wear black shirts and jeans. I mean, I feel like that's like your dream.
Several black outfits. I mean, it would be fun. We watched the Oscars, and it's hard for me to watch the Oscars because, like, I don't watch movies. I don't know anything about any of these movies. I didn't see the Barbie movie. I didn't see Oppenheimer. I didn't see any of it. So I'm over there looking at the outfits. Yeah, he's like, ooh, this one won. And I'm like, look at her dress.
I've never seen the Barbie movie either.
Freaking mess.
Was that the one that was like the pink cloud?
Yeah, she looked up like shoot up bubblegum.
Yeah, that was weird.
What the hell are you doing, girl? Also, why are her eyebrows white? Why is her hair white?
It's for that movie she's doing, Wicked.
I don't like it. It looks bad.
No, it looks terrible. I've never been a fan of the white eyebrows look.
It just looks bad, and like that's how she looks on her new album she just released. Have you listened to her new album yet?
No.
I don't know why I asked that. I know that. I know that answer. The amount of music you listen to, you surely didn't. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's not anything her last album that came out in 2020. It's kind of like her old music. I don't know. It's mad okay is what I would say. But
I loved her old album or her 2020 album.
Yeah, me too. And so I was hoping it was going to sound a little bit more like that. And it just really doesn't. It's not, I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I've listened to the more popular songs that I see people post. So I'm like, oh, I'll listen to these ones. And I just haven't loved it. I don't know. She's off the deep end, I think. Her new man, he was the Broadway SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's how they met, right? Because she's on there?
I honestly don't know. All I know is that I learned that she's a homewrecker and she's literally broken up like 7 relationships. And
I know.
I just hate that. That's gross.
And I hate that because I was just like such an Ariana fan. Like I loved her. I loved her music.
Yeah. I loved Victorious. I thought she was so cool. And now the song Break Up With Your Girlfriend I'm Bored is just like, yikes, girl. Because before I was like, okay, this is kind of catchy. Like, I like it. Obviously, I'm not going to like sing it to people because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. But like, it makes a lot more sense now why she wrote that because of personal experience. If she wasn't famous and she would be hated. She'd be with Sarah Ann.
Yeah, I mean, people hate her a lot right now because I didn't realize this wasn't her first rodeo with breaking up a relationship. Like, I didn't realize it was like it'd been happened like 6 or 7 times. Like, she always has a man lined up.
Yeah. Because she broke up whatever relationship she was around. I mean, I would not trust my man to be around her.
Her man is not attractive.
No!
Like, no wonder he played SpongeBob.
And then she came out with a song, I think it's called My Boy, is on the new album. It's just like, I think it's a semi-sexual song. I don't really know. I haven't listened to the song, but I did see a TikTok that was funny. That was like, the fact that I'm listening to the song, like her sing about like my boy, and this is the boy she's talking about, and it's like him like being SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like,
Ew.
yeah, that ain't it, girl.
Okay.
I don't know.
I will say my man being on SpongeBob Broadway, ick. That's an ick.
That's an ick. Honestly, being in Broadway in general is kind of an ick.
I don't think Broadway is for me.
Be a character. I don't want to be you because I don't trust you. Because what if you're just being a character around me?
Yeah, exactly. You're just acting. You're just being a fake. Because then I'm like, okay, who are you really? Because a lot of those people be like method actors and they like don't know how to break character. And I'm like, do you even know who you are? You don't act like yourself because you're acting like somebody else. But then it kind of makes me wonder, like, when you get out of it, like, do you know how to act like yourself?
My old roommate, her boyfriend, now fiance, he should go into Broadway. He can lie about his whole life. We are closing out episode 8 for Rarely Rad, and we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.